My ex-girlfriend cheated on me and said I had a small PP, so I decided to do this. Original post. I was 27 when my world fell apart. Sarah and I had been together for 4 years. We met in college, started dating in our junior year, and everything just clicked. We shared the same dreams, the same stupid jokes, even finished each other's sentences. After graduation, moving in together seemed like the natural next step. I honestly thought she was the one. I was even planning to propose next month during our trip to Hawaii. The ring was hidden in my desk drawer at work. Funny how life has other plans. 2 weeks ago, I came home early from work because of a migraine. Usually I'd text Sarah first, but my head was pounding so bad I just wanted to get home and lie down. That's when I heard it. Laughter coming from our bedroom. Our bedroom. I knew before I even opened the door. You know that feeling in your gut when your whole world is about to shatter? Yeah, that one. There she was in our bed with Jim from her office. The same Jim she told me not to worry about. The same Jim who she said was just a mentor, helping her with her career. The same Jim who'd been texting her at all hours, which she assured me was just work stuff. What happened next is still a blur. Jim scrambled out of there like a cockroach when the lights come on. But Sarah? She just sat there wrapped in our sheets, the ones her mom got us for Christmas. She looked at me like I was the one who did something wrong. "We need to talk," she said, as if this was some minor disagreement about whose turn it was to do the dishes. I should have walked out, should have maintained some dignity. Instead, I stood there like an idiot and listened as she tore me apart. What followed was the most humiliating 20 minutes of my life. "Jim gives me what you can't," she said, her words dripping with cruel honesty. "He's more successful, more ambitious. He knows what he wants and goes after it. He makes 6 figures while you're still stuck in entry-level IT. His apartment overlooks the city while we live in this cramped 2-bedroom. And honestly," she laughed, and it felt like ice down my spine. "He's more blessed in every way that matters. Size does matter, you know. I've been settling for average, no, below average with you, and I'm tired of it. 4 years. 4 years of love, trust, and building a life together. All of it reduced to a comparison of bank accounts and manhood." I threw up in our ensuite bathroom while she kept talking. She listed every way I'd failed her, every way Jim was superior, how his muscles were more defined, how he could afford 5-star restaurants while I took her to casual dining spots, how she'd been faking satisfaction with me all along. The next few days were a nightmare. I moved out, taking only what could fit in my car, ended up sleeping on my best friend Mike's couch. Tried not to completely fall apart at my IT support job, the same job Sarah always said was cute, but lacking ambition. During my shifts, I'd stare at my computer screen, barely able to focus. At 3 a.m., I'd scroll through old photos, wondering how I never saw the contempt in her eyes. Had she been comparing me to Jim all along? Had every dinner date been a disappointment? Every intimate moment a letdown? A week after everything fell apart, I hit rock bottom. I was at a bar, 6 drinks deep, avoiding Mike's concerned glances from across the room. That's when I saw them together. Sarah and Jim, looking like a perfect power couple from a magazine cover. She was wearing the dress I bought her for our anniversary, the one I had to save up for 3 months to afford. Jim had his hand on the small of her back, the same spot where I used to rest mine. His Rolex caught the light as he guided her to their table. They didn't see me, but I saw them. Saw how she looked at him, all bright eyes and genuine smiles. The kind of looks I thought were reserved for me. That's when it hit me. I wasn't just sad anymore. I was angry, not at her, not even at Jim, but at myself. I'd spent 4 years being comfortable, being good enough. I'd let myself believe that love meant accepting mediocrity, that being nice was enough. That night, stumbling back to Mike's place, I made a decision that would change everything. The next morning, hangover and all, I walked into my boss's office and quit my cute IT job. Everyone thought I was having a mental breakdown. Maybe I was. Mike certainly thought so. He hadn't seen me this worked up since our college days. But sometimes you need to break down completely before you can rebuild yourself into something stronger. That was 2 months ago. What happened next? Well, that's a story that deserves its own post. Because nobody, especially not Sarah, could have predicted what I would become. The morning after quitting my job, I made 3 investments with my savings: a gym membership, a coding boot camp, and a therapist. Mike thought I was losing it, but for the first time in years, I was thinking clearly. The gym became my sanctuary. Every insult Sarah threw at me became another rep, another mile on the treadmill. Those first few weeks were brutal. I could barely bench the bar, couldn't run for more than 5 minutes without gasping for air. The regulars probably thought I was a joke, this skinny IT guy trying to reinvent himself. But I kept showing up. Every single day, 5 a.m. sharp when they opened, often staying until they closed. By the end of the first month, something changed. The weights started feeling lighter. My runs got longer. My form improved. The same regulars who once looked at me with pity started nodding in recognition. One of them, David, took me under his wing. He was a successful software engineer who'd been through something similar years ago. The best revenge isn't getting even, he told me one day after spotting my bench press. It's becoming someone they can't touch. My routine became my religion. Wake up at 4:30 a.m. Protein shake, gym until 7, shower, coding boot camp from 9 to 5, back to the gym at 6, dinner, sleep, repeat. Weekends were for extra coding practice and meal prep. I cut out alcohol, started counting macros, learned about progressive overload. My body was changing, but so was my mind. David wasn't just a gym buddy. He became my mentor. Between sets, he taught me everything he knew about software development. It turned out my cute IT background gave me an edge. I absorbed everything: JavaScript, React, Node.js, system architecture. By month 3, I was dreaming in code. Within 4 months, I had a portfolio of projects. By month 5, I was interviewing at tech startups. Each day, I logged my progress: weight lifted, miles run, lines of code written, problems solved. The numbers kept climbing. My therapist said I was replacing one obsession with another, but this felt different. This wasn't about being good enough for someone else. This was about becoming who I should have been all along. Then came the job offer. Not just any offer, a senior developer position at one of the city's fastest-growing companies. The salary? Triple what I made in IT. The office? 2 floors above Jim's company in the same building. The old me would have said no, avoided the possibility of running into them. The new me signed the contract without hesitation. But something else was happening during those months. Something I didn't expect. David and I started spending more time together outside the gym. Coffee after workouts turned into dinners. Dinners turned into weekend hangouts. I found myself looking forward to our time together more than anything else. At first, I thought it was just friendship. Here was someone successful, confident, and genuinely supportive. Everything I wanted to be. But then one night, as we were celebrating my new job offer, I caught myself staring at his smile. The way his eyes crinkled when he laughed. The gentle strength in his hands as he gestured while talking. I realized I was feeling something I'd never felt before, not even with Sarah. I panicked, avoided him for a week, had long talks with my therapist about feelings I'd buried so deep I didn't even know they existed. This wasn't part of the plan. I was supposed to become successful, run into Sarah, show her what she lost. Instead, I was discovering something about myself I'd been suppressing my entire life. The realization hit me gradually, then all at once. Every failed relationship, every time things felt not quite right with girls I dated, the real reason I'd settled for Sarah's subtle put-downs and lukewarm affection. I'd been trying to be someone I wasn't, not just for her, but for everyone. My therapist helped me understand that my obsession with becoming better than Jim wasn't just about revenge. It was about proving my worth as a man in the only way I knew how. But as my body got stronger and my career soared, something else was getting stronger too. The courage to be honest with myself. Last week, it all came to a head. I was in the elevator at my new office, heading to a client meeting. The doors opened, and there was Sarah. She didn't recognize me at first. The tailored suit and extra muscle had that effect. When she did, her eyes widened. "Oh my God," she said, looking me up and down. "You look different." I smiled. Not because of her reaction, but because for the first time I felt nothing. No anger, no hurt, no desire to prove anything. "Thanks," I said. "I'm different." She stepped closer, touching my arm. "I heard you're doing really well now. Maybe we could get coffee, catch up? I've been thinking about us lately, and maybe I was too hasty." Her perfume was the same, but it didn't affect me like it used to. Instead, I found myself thinking about David waiting for me at our usual dinner spot, probably already ordering my favorite appetizer. I'm seeing someone, I said. Her smile widened. Oh, what's she like? He's amazing, I replied, stepping out of the elevator. And you were right about one thing, Sarah. Size does matter. His heart is bigger than anything I've ever known. The doors closed on her shocked face, and I walked to my meeting feeling lighter than air. Later that night, over dinner, I finally told David everything about Sarah, about my transformation, about how helping me become stronger had helped me find my truth. Turns out he'd known all along. He was just waiting for me to figure it out myself. David's taking me to Hawaii next month, same resort where I plan to propose to Sarah. But this time, I'm not hiding any rings in desk drawers. This time, I'm just excited to be with someone who loves me for exactly who I am. Someone who never needed me to change, even though he helped me become stronger than I ever thought possible. When Sarah said Jim was bigger and better in every way, she thought she was crushing my soul. Instead, she set me free. Because now I finally understand. The biggest thing about a person isn't their wallet, their muscles, or what's in their pants. It's their capacity to love themselves enough to live their truth. And my truth? It was waiting for me all along, disguised as revenge but really leading me home.